Today's matchup, KONGDOO Monsters, KSV, beginning of the end. 2018 League of Legends Champions Korea Spring Split.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to dive into our second series of the night. Yes, we are not done yet. I'm Achilles, that's Papa Smithy, and we're ready to dive into KSV versus KONGDOO Monster, a match which on paper suggests that KSV should stomp their way to victory, but they have been getting stomped as of late.
And of course,
So who knows?
we apologize, guys. Your regularly scheduled match is 1 hour and 20 minutes late, so everyone in Twitch chat gets a refund for what they paid for this game.
Yeah.
They didn't pay anything, so they're not getting any refund.
These
They
aren't
are
the old
getting-
Champions days.
They are getting some sick League of Legends, though. Yeah, no subscribers to cancel there. Let's do some bookkeeping. We've decided to show you some cool stuff with the round robin over. Our biggest confirmed killer is FLICKR. No surprise. Race, he died the most, but so did
Yeah.
Key. We'll be seeing him today.
We will.
Most assists go to Mana and Wraith, somehow equal. That's very unlikely.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised, actually, by that Wraith was able to keep up with Mana.
Wraith had
Despite
a great
the-
series for the last Gnar time.
He did indeed.
He does get to put shields and heals onto Teddy, so that probably does lead to a lot of assists. We
That's
get to look
true.
at something. Most CS is for Bang. He killed 11,389 poor souls. Highest KDA also Bang. Highest CS record. That one's never going away.
Yeah, that.
Teddy at 1465 and the lowest KDA. Here's your reward.
Oh,
You
poor-
won the least.
Poor ADD. He's like, couldn't you just redact my name and picture? Like,
What?
couldn't you just say it was somebody on the squad rather than me particularly?
Why do we have to give an award to the lowest KDA?
Oh God.
You were the best being lowest.
What are
Sorry.
those? What are those? The anti-Oscars that they give out, like
The
the
Razzies?
Razzies?
Yeah.
Yeah. ADD just got the Razzie at the LCK.
Pretty
Oh,
true.
dear.
He's been looking better recently, so we can laugh about
I
it.
mean, it makes sense. It's Oscar season coming up here, Bob Smith.
Here's some stuff to make your blood curl. Longest game time, 1 hour, 34 minutes, 40 seconds. That was you and I for Gnar.
It was.
Versus SK Telecom T1. And we
It's
had
always you and I.
BBQ versus MVP. That was a stomp. Most dragons slain. Look at that.
7.
That buff bar over there.
7.
That's 3 elders, by the way. It could have been another regular Drake if they took one earlier. Most Baron slain was 6 in a loss by SK Telecom T1.
I'm actually amazed that most Dragon Slain wasn't in our 94-minute game, but I guess it's because it was probably mostly Elder Dragons being taken rather than the actual elementals.
180,000 gold was claimed by Gnar in a game, not a match, a game
Yep.
against SKT. If
It
you
was
added
that
those two-
fated game.
I mean, if you add them together, we were close to 350,000 gold slain. The minions
It was-
will never be the same.
It was a lot. It was a hell of a lot of gold.
Do
and
you-
none of it mattered
Is
after
it
the
just
90,000
me?
mark.
Maybe the fans like this, maybe you're like this. I feel like my life was before that game and after that game. It's a watershed moment for me.
Yeah, basically. It's kind of how it's been.
Here are the ban rates. So
I don't know why we decided to do all of this after a
because
really
the first
long
round robin's
series.
over. We ended the first round robin.
That's true.
Time for the bookkeeping. Highest
Yeah.
pick rate is Ezreal. Of course, probably would have been Sejuani. She was the highest picked and banned, but that's pure pick. Seen on the Rift, Ezreal, Gnar, Jarvan, Braum, and Azir. Bans. Not too surprising, although the Galio certainly has crept up after it was Lava bringing out. I think we might see some Galio today from unlikely places, but when we hit the games, we'll talk about that a bit more.
Bless the souls who had to calculate all this in the 20-minute break. Get
You
everything
know,
up to date after the first match.
They were only fitting in some extra stats, of course. They would have done most of the heavy lifting
It was
earlier.
preempted. But, yeah, have to wrap all of this up. As much as we would love to just dive straight into the second series of the day after the super long one there. But here you go. Pentakill there for Lava. We had Khan with his own.
And 400 Game Club, the first ever member, is Score. 400 competitive games.
And he got it
In
a win
Korea.
over SKT.
Many more games in his career at All-Star and other events, but only in the LCK it's 400. So congratulations, Score. We talk about it all the time. The only player who played in the OGN League of Legends Invitational before this first season of Champions in January of 2012, 6 years ago. Score is still around. 2 role swaps since then was Joker, a jungler on Startail, an AD carry on KT, and also jungle on KT. And here's the ranking. We just showed it before the break, but if you joined in late, KONGDOO did lose, in fact, to the team of BBQ. We will have KONGDOO versus FLICKR in 2 days' time, but today we start that second round robin with the team that kind of was the first story of the first round robin, KSV, coming off as world champion Samsung Galaxy, looking unassailable until they met today's opponent in KONGDOO Monster, and then they've become crashing down to earth in the interim.
Has not been a very good recent history here for KSV, just losing to KT. As KT before that, both of them 0-2 losses, and then a 1-2 to Rocks Tigers, definitely the most shocking one that we have seen. But over on the other side, to start things off, it's going to be KONGDOO. Not starting Yujun there in the jungle will be Ryze. And this is a squad that started off, gave us newly found hope for this squad here in the LCK. Have always been ones to fall out of the LCK, then requalify, then fall out, then requalify. We thought maybe this would be the season that they could not go to the relegations, that they could actually be a contender, maybe even make it to playoffs. But no, they have fallen all the way down the standings, currently resting in that 9th place spot.
The performance on Camille from Ryze. I wonder if we'll see it from him again this game. Ryze has been the tonic for their victories, but also some of the reasons for their defeats. Speaking of defeats, KSV come in on a 3-match losing streak. They will be running Haru again in game 1. His Zac left a lot to be desired in the first game that he played for that champion in 2018. Crown also playing a lot of the Zoe, but not getting as much value recently. So many problems for KSV in terms of coordination, draft, playing to win conditions, even losing the minimum, even the things that Samsung Galaxy into KSV have always been strong at. KSV have left us wanting, so they will want to play themselves back into form. For the first time recently, they come in heavy favorites against their opposition, but you would have said the same thing in the first round robin. They weren't able to take down KONGDOO Monster that time.
Yeah, it's been a lot of faltering here by the members of KSV who were once thought to be the most reliable in their roles. Crown, very heavily considered the best mid laner in the world, second best mid laner in the world, rather, back in 2016. Now falling down, not really finding his groove. CuVee as well, would have been considered the best top laner, even up to just last year by a lot of people, and neither of them have been having much success. A lot of shortcomings, and you can see that with the graph here, where Edge and Sol both find themselves extending out in front of Crown and Ruler.
I feel like this game should be won in the bot lane for KSV, and I feel like more priority should be given to the bot lane of KSV. They're just slamming it up solo queue, rank 4 and 5, I believe. At this present point, they're both fantastic players.
Hasn't translated into the competitive game.
It hasn't, but I think some of that is related to champion pull from the mid lane. A lot of Zoe, which can be powerful, but I feel like they could try and unlock the bot lane with some utility choice. So Galio wouldn't go amiss for the side of KSV. But maybe a change in priority. I'd love to see a hard carry performance from Ruler. I believe he's up to the task, but even he has had some ordinary performances on the Rift. We're going to look into our history, finally get to look back at it. First game was the Bouncy Castle, you'll remember. Achilleos was with the Jarvan, the Galio, oh my, all sorts of initiations, and the previously undefeated KSV were taken down in that game. Then an MVP performance by Edge on the Zoe. Had a really good team fighting Zoe game, rather than just the Omega lols of the max range one-shots. So KONGDOO Monster left KSV with a lot to think about, and from there they've only gotten weaker. So we'll see if they're able to answer them, because like you say, neither of these teams is going to feel particularly good about their recent form. Both of them have things to improve on. Naturally, you'd think surely KSV will take the next step. Let's look at this matchup. Could be a fun one. We want to see the return of the Rengar, the pocket pick for Haru.
And I feel when Ryze is the 11th highest KDA in the league, been a bit of a struggle here for him. But that being said, still has been a bit more reliable than Yujun.
It could be worse. It could be ADD, so
that's
he's got 0.2 on him.
Could be ADD.
That's 11th in roll, by the way, so 11th out of the 10 junglers plus some subs that played enough game to be considered. Both of them with 400 MVPs, but it's been about their performances, both of them, in fact, in losses, where it's kind of the reverse MVP, the Razzie, as you were saying.
Yeah.
They both had very poor games, so we'll see how things can change. How do you predict this one? KSV has more fans. They're the world champions. Of course, they'll win, right? Well, yeah. I don't know if I felt that way very confidently about them recently. When SKT were in freefall, I still tipped them to beat KSV because KSV just hadn't shown anything impressive. I'm ready to believe in KSV again. I think they have a very strong squad. They have a lot of experience. Are there mental blockers? Are there other issues? It feels like everything is acting against KSV, and until they can actually put forward an impressive series, you have to really think that the ceiling for this team is getting lower every time they play.
Of course, to some degree, this is kind of what we've come to expect from Samsung, now KSV. Kind of bomb out in the middle of the season, kind of hit the top early on, fall down a little bit, don't make it to the final, beat KT in the regional qualifier, go to Worlds, and then make the final all over again. So it still could happen.
It could.
But they want it to be cleaner for sure. They would like to actually take home a trophy from the spring or summer split finals. KSV, this is where they could turn it all around right here. But this is the first time that we've had two teams that were kind of falling before we had the holiday come around. What happens when two falling teams clash?
Somebody has to win. The LPL tomorrow, during our break, there will be Vici Gaming versus Top Gaming, which is another similar sort of bottom-of-the-table clash. Marin will be there in that one. I miss him still. Some top lane Ignite Cannon, that's what I want to see. Bring it out, Marin. As we focus on this game at hand, the Zoe going to be banned away.
Or bring out the Mundo again.
That's true. He's got his bag of tricks, just Marin.
I mean, right now, basically, out of combat, everybody with a Warmogs is just role-playing as Dr. Mundo.
Well, no one's going to be role-playing as Galio. It will be banned in this game. Crown has been playing him in solo queue, so maybe on the blue side we'll see the Galio first pick, but not to be here. So the bouncy castle is starting to slow as Haru's actually going to eat a Skarner ban. He's smiling on the screen. He's like, I don't play Skarner.
I wonder if there's going to be a Zac ban here for KSV. It's 100% win rate for Ryze
But
at
it
the
hasn't been playing it when it's up, so I don't know if they necessarily have to ban it. It would be another bouncy castle tool, though, so you can understand it. And speaking of bounce, the Alistar will be banned away. Gnar didn't play it in the first series, which played with our heartstrings, but won't be seeing it here either. So Ryze is available, still very prized on this patch. Azir and Ezreal also to be considered.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the Ryze, though. It's actually a takeaway in two roles. CuVee's been playing a lot of top Ryze in solo queue and was one of our original top Ryze players a couple of years ago. And it's smart to ban it away, a staple of Crown's champion pool as well. So take away the Ryze. It is 8.3, so no more Deficio-style escapes. You're not going to be able to press stopwatch and BK with the ultimate, but still going to be slippery on the Ryze.
Might just be the Gnar here. Yep, instant pickup for KSV. And with the Camille, no ambiguity whatsoever. It's just going to be straight up into the jungle. So not hiding anything up their sleeves to start off this draft.
Always had a good game on the Camille, but also a poor one. His decision-making on the ganks, his coordination with lanes hasn't been fantastic. So I'll jump on a playmaker anyway. It's also a denial pick away from Ryze, and I think that's the more important thing. Ryze had a great game. Game 2 on Camille. His tank Camille game left a lot to be desired in Game 3 that they went on to lose the series on, but
She's better when she does damage, it turns out.
Yeah, it does turn out that way, so I am a fan of taking away the Camille. A KONGDOO monster, tier list-wise, feeling really good about the picks. Speaking of the tier list, oh boy, there's our boy Sion.
Might just see him come out. Hovering over it for a little bit longer
it's a good
here,
lane into
but
Gnar, so it's probably going to be locked in. There it is.
Quite okay.
We'll see if it's the Glacial Augment or the Comet. Depending on how you're feeling, you can go for either. We'll talk about that in-game. Crown will be playing the Azir when all is said and done. 2-1 on Azir this season. A lot of damage potential coming from the mid lane. Crown has had those struggles. It feels harsh to point out too many particular picks from him. The Zoe, for example, was 6-0 undefeated, but they went on to win. But Crown actually transitioning good or decent games into wins, actually flexing in a game and showing he is the carry that we know him to be from 2017 spring and 2016 has been his problem. He hasn't dictated games. He's been a passenger in both wins and losses, and that's why we're waiting for him to really capture the imagination with a big carry performance to propel him up in terms of momentum. The Zac ban you called for earlier will come in the second round here from KSV.
Ban on the Caitlyn here for KONGDOO, trying to offset Ruler perhaps a little bit here. Callista's off the board already. Maybe we see a Varus ban if they want to double attack the ADCs.
Seems like Jarvan will be locked in for KONGDOO then with the double jungle ban towards Ryze. Unless he's got something extra new to show us. Zaya's the final ban to deny Zyra Khan. We saw Ezreal Khan yesterday, but that was kind of a necessity. And guess what? There's still a Varus for Ruler to lock in.
Didn't ban it. Ruler will be more than happy to pick this up. his world's winning performance with the Varus.
Do KONGDOO Monster steal away the Braum is the question you might ask. So taking away Braum here would be smarter. So Varus Braum 100% going to be the bot lane, you would imagine, unless a lot of backline threat comes through from KONGDOO. So I like that decision. No chance of a Varus steal, of course. Okay, there's a chance it could be Ezreal jungle, blah, 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 but no.
I was going to say Ez mid, Ryze top, Sion support.
You know, a solo queue, very possible. But Sejuani is going to be jumping in the jungle. Raised on Sejuani. Hasn't favored this pick so far this season. Doesn't have the strongest early combat, so we might see some invades coming through from the Camille as... Alright, another Blitzcrank hover. We know what's up. The jig is up now. We're not getting excited about Blitzcrank hovers. Secrets Alistar denied. He's going to jump on the Tahm Kench, which has been his normal pick. It's 1-6 on Tahm Kench this season. Hasn't been a winning pick for the side of KONGDOO.
Well, they're going to give it another go. And as expected, as we saw earlier, the Varus hover comes through and will get locked in. So Varus Braum for the bottom lane.
Really powerful draft from KSV. They've had some good drafts, they've had some poor ones. Hasn't always really been reflected in-game. I love the draft here. Varus and Braum, very, very powerful in the bottom side. Haru has a winning top lane in terms of pressure and a decent mid lane that goes the way of Ryze, but not in a massive way. So it feels like a lot of playmaking can happen. Once you get the Hextech Ultimatum, there's so much CC in the bot lane that kills can reign supreme. Even if it is Ezreal and Tahm Kench, the Ultimatum will put paid to the slipperiness of the duo. KONGDOO Monster do have Ryze Sion, which are very powerful in terms of just having staying power. We always talk about 1-3-1 with Ryze. That can be put together. Lot to like on both sides, so no clear winner from the draft. I'm personally a fan of what KSV have done, but the actual game plan, we really need to be critical, I think, of KSV. They deserve a fine-tooth comb because they are the world champions. They are a team that was looking to stick together to win their first LCK title. So they deserve high expectations. They just haven't been living up to the high expectations in the first round robin.
No, really have been falling flat on that front here. We'll see. Fairly standard on both sides. Nothing too crazy coming out. It's kind of crazy the amount of power picks that both sides were able to net for themselves. Hopefully that makes for a bit of a bloodthirsty game to help wake us up after such a long first series. Ruler back over onto the Varus has been faltering lately. His positioning hasn't been as on point as we've seen from him in the past. Going to be expecting a big step up from him here. See if they can pull it off. KONGDOO Monster looking for the upset of upsets as they take to KSV here onto the Rift as we go on in for game number 1.
Well, I think the crowd also is going to need a bit of time to warm up.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, especially, they actually paid for their tickets. They had to wait an hour and a half longer for their game.
I mean, they probably showed up at, what, 7:30?
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, they finally get to see their team. They seem pumped, though, so that's good to see.
I guess they could have enjoyed the free BBQ chicken that was outside, so at least they had that going for them.
We didn't enjoy it.
We did not. We didn't get any.
Bible thump.
President was here and everything.
He was stoked, by the way.
He was stoked. I would have been stoked if he walked up and handed us some chicken. Hand-delivered by the president of BBQ.
Well, that's just going to have to be a dream of yours, Achilles.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. If BBQ keeps winning and he keeps coming to the games, I'll make it happen eventually.
When you catch the Z's, maybe you can dream about the home delivery.
I'll get the photo op.
I mean, KONGDOO Monster are dreaming of the 4-0 over KSV. The preseason would have been such an impossible thing to even consider.
If you get a home delivery, it's a little bit more terrifying.
It's true.
How did you find me?
We know what he looks like. He also knows who we are, so
yeah,
I've been introduced to the BBQ president. We'll just call him the president from now on, just to not have any sort of confusion.
Mr. President.
Let's roll into this game. It's a top red side start for Haru. I think he might be pathing towards bottom side. With an auto attack reset, you can stack up the concussive blows very fast, so could be a very quick gank bot side if he wants to take it. Usually, when you see a red side start, it's going to involve some sort of contest on the enemy blue, especially if it's a blue side Zac, since it's a Sejuani. We're not going to see that, and he decides against it. Just going to be going for the 3-camp clear on the Camille. For once, Crown not playing the Zoe. A lot of Zoe from Crown recently.
Yeah. A lot of Zoe in general. But we'll just have this one be a bit more standard. Ryze making it through is a bit odd. Can take that one up with the drafting there from KSV, not banning it away, but fearing the Zoe and Galio a bit more, as well as the Alistar.
Hasn't been a big pick for Edge this season. I believe it's his first game on Ryze. Could be second, I might be mistaken, but hasn't been visiting the Ryze much this season.
Hasn't been available much.
It's true. It's been
in many games.
Right up there in terms of the bans so far on the LCK.
I think this means it will actually either be benefiting or ruining Ryze's record overall in LCK.
Hey, you're right.
It's currently 50% flat out.
We saw that's at 140, 140 lifetime. As we thought about the Camille gank bot lane. It's positioning mid lane, but this is really smart.
He's moving up now. Trying to bait him in. I'm just going to try to exit up towards the top. Ryze is here. They will still get the stun. Big burst of damage, and Crown finds the first blood, and now suddenly Ryze. Hard place on Rock. I'm messing up the analogy there, but he is still just one hit from dead. Seems like he will go down as Crown finds the kill. It's going to be double buffs over to Crown. And KSV starting things off nicely here.
Oh,
Rock in a hard place. There we go.
That's the one you were looking for. You were reaching for it, but
I messed that up harder than they messed up that counter game.
I don't know about that one. Crown is leaving with double buffs on Azir. He can make value out of both of those. A lot happened. I'd love to show the replay here. Hopefully we'll get a roll on it because it looked at the start like KONGDOO Monster were going to make a very intelligent play. What happened was that Sejuani pushed in, pinged the fact that the Raptors were still up, and suggested play to the top side. So he basically knew there was only threat from the bottom side of a gank from Camille. As that happened, though, too much free damage was invited by Edge. He goes down. The secondary kill was the icing on the cake. And suddenly, KSV, looking for the snowball they've been denied for multiple series in a row.
Yeah, they have always just been a very slow-paced action here from this squad. Haven't really seen them go for the snowball to try to speed up the game. They still might not. They might still just slow everything down.
Achilles,
but with those two kills.
It's double buff Stinger at 3 minutes Azir. About the most scary thing you could ever consider laning against. This is when you bought the scrim. Like, okay, guys, that's cool. Yep. Wonderful. Goodbye.
FF, we're going to restart, go to the next one. We got you guys for, what, 2 more hours? Yeah, all right.
Well, Haru's definitely got the invade on because he's got the good old double buff Azir going on in mid lane. Take that control,
with the longsword ready to go. He's going to be juking out some of these blows here from Ryze. We'll go ahead, the wards down, clear out the enemies, and just assert his dominance.
Considered assertive as he just walks up and starts doing super well in the trades against the Ryze.
Speaking of doing super well, Roach here, the Sion, talking about how well this can do into the Gnar so far. So good.
We will see a lot of Sion this season. I'd be surprised if we ever see a Sion down more than 10 CS in 15 minutes. It's so hard to deny CS from him. Decimating Smash, or Slayer, so many range farming abilities. You can even use Soul Furnace to do it. Very, very hard to deny. Haven't necessarily seen the most value out of the Sion picks so far, but usually you can pencil him in for being insanely tanky and pushing lane.
Also hard to just, dive him if you ever are in that position.
Scary.
Has the passive to come back up. He can lock you up and make you take multiple turret shots. Talking is so hard after that first series. With the decimating smash.
And he's gone Comet, we should talk about. So
yes.
Glacial Augment in solo queue, we're seeing a lot of it, even though Comet is the more offensive choice. It's all about lane control. It's kind of like when supports transition from taking Exhaust to taking Ignite for lane control, because the threat of Ignite offensively and defensively was there. Comet will keep the enemy top laner in check a little bit more. No, it doesn't start Doran's Blade in this matchup, but doesn't have lifesteal in the build, so he'll be taking a lot of incidental harass from the Comet, so I'm a fan of it. I thought we'd see a lot more Glacial Augment because it was being favored in solo queue, but while the Predator Skarner has come out, the Comet Sion has been the norm.
Has been sticking around. Crown right now going for an invasion over to the red buff. He's going to be pushing in, trying to interrupt Ryze. He does have the smite. Not going to take away beat.
Teleport.
Very slim. Yeah, TP actually very aggressively going to be completed. CoreJJ though. Ultimate going to come down. Does get the lock up here onto Crown. Take a little bit of damage, but he can just go ahead and skirt his way over the wall. So ultimate down, so suddenly, Ryze doesn't have much gank pressure for the next minute or so.
Yeah, it's just a summoner for summoner trade, which cooldown-wise benefits KONGDOO Monster, but like you say, lanes being able to push up-wise is pretty happy news for KSV. CoreJJ was just teleporting in the area, wanted to clear some wards out. He would have roamed there anyway if he was coming from base because Varus hadn't entered the bot lane yet. So no harm, no foul. Just in the area just in case something changed.
Cleanse being down for Crown does suck a little bit. But we'll see how he's going to play this out. Concussive blows getting stacked up here off the back of the chain of corruption. Soul jumps away just before he gets stunned up, which almost certainly would have led to his death. But Flash now down on the Ezreal. Makes this bottom lane that much easier here for KSV to continue rolling over.
With a Taric on the bench for once. Varus Braum, so much synergy between the two. Ruler hits 6, hits the ult, and forces out the flash from the Ezreal.
Good takeaway on the blue buff here. And Ryze is not in position to answer the blue buff on the other side of the map.
It's what you do. When you go for Camille into Sejuani and you have a double buff mid laner at 4 minutes, it's all about playing the front foot. That's where we know Haru has always been the strongest, and it's kind of a dynamic I talked about a little bit at Worlds when it came to Haru and Ambition. The no ambition, no clue kind of meme was at its full strength, and definitely when it comes to shot calling, they definitely take quite a bit of a dip whenever Haru's in the lineup. But if you think about who looked the best when Haru was in the lineup compared to summer season, it was Crown. Crown and Haru were monopolizing MVPs. Crown was first, and Haru was, what, 4th in the league, I believe, at that time. And it's because the aggressive style opened up space for Crown to also basically have his way with the enemy mid laner and rotate with the aggressive Haru. When it's a defensive style with Ambition farming, makes Crown more accountable. So the style change, theoretically, with Haru in the lineup should benefit Crown. Crown's own performance, of course, slumped quite significantly. But getting a couple of kills early, maybe we'll finally see the Crown of a year ago unlocked on the Rift. It'd be a pleasure to see Crown actually flex on a game after, again, struggling so much in recent memory.
Yeah. Getting back to that 2016 flair. Because even saying, you know, World Final 2017, it's like, well, he just played Malzahar the entire time.
He was the first one to say it, right? He said in his winning interview, I believe, with Invent Global, basically saying, look, I realize I'm a world champion, but my own performance wasn't anything to write home about. Still a team player. He did what his team needed, but proud guy. He wants to be a carry in his own right.
Humble. Good for a catch maybe here on the Crown. They don't have vision.
Is still down for about another 30 seconds, so the timing was right.
He's going to play this one out safely. Rotate around, scoop up the blue buff.
I feel like Haru always has red buffs. But he was able to steal away the enemy blue and has his own red. So Haru is getting the big camps, even if he is CS behind Ryze at the moment. Gold-wise, Warrior already complete. No Cinderhulk Camille in this game.
Haru scouting out Edge. He'll take a little bit of damage, and the Abyssal Voyage is coming through from Secret. Arrives. Looking for the hit. Soul finds the Mystic Shot, and they will finish him off as Secret finds the kill and takes home a red buff.
And these are the risks that Haru takes that can sometimes cost his team pretty dearly. Kill goes over to the enemy team.
That's going to be the route into the lockdown. Crown waits. Gets the cleanse off. Realm Warp coming through, however. Emperor's Divide will push him back. Nicely timed there by Crown. Still keeps the flash, but cleanse going down onto CD. About right as soon as it came up.
Did have it up to not give up a second kill to the side of KONGDOO. Not as clean as you would want from the side of KSV after getting such a big lead through the mid lane. National's Tooth already complete. So early on Crown, at the cost of any regen or boots. So now with cleanse down, I imagine there'll be plenty more attention to the mid side. Haru working with his lanes again, working with Crown was something we thought we would start to see, something that we've seen in the past. Abandoned once again, as they still look for the counter jungling, all things considered.
Sometimes you just have to know when to peel back. Now's a good moment here for Haru to go ahead and invade. Prior to that, a bit too aggressive. Had a talk with Umti after their series yesterday, and I said, very good job on the Camille, but maybe a little too aggressive, and he said, I thought I played perfect. It's like, okay, Umti.
Camille has been the most polarizing jungler by a million miles in 2018. We've seen some very bad jungle performances and also some great ones.
Blank.
I wasn't going to name names on the bad side. That's an OGN thing. Give me Marazi out here.
I'll throw him under the bus. We already threw ADD under the bus. No one is safe anymore.
Well, we've also seen some great Camille. Spirit, fantastic Camille performances. Ryze in Game 2. A KONGDOO monster, fantastic performance. Jury's out on Haru this game. One good moment, one bad. A lot of aggressive wards. They have tried to monopolize the spot red side jungle. But I think about things I saw in the KSV versus KT series that I want to see change in this series.
Oh.
I may have to hold the point.
Yeah, that's going to be the unstoppable onslaught crown. Just gonna juke over to the side. It's a nice try.
Not a big enough AoE to affect him behind a turret, so just backs away. Does Sion things.
You coward. Shuffling your way.
But again, the biggest worry for me in KSV versus KT, you remember in that particular series, KT were playing top side in game 1, and then KSV with the Zac were trying to dive bot again and again and again. Even though they couldn't really get vision, they failed 2 or 3 times. They weren't trying to play to their winning lanes. They were just, for some reason, doubling down on bot against a Caitlyn multiple times when it just looked like a very low chance of happening. And that's something I want to see avoided here. I want to see them a lot smarter in knowing where they're strong and trying to accelerate a winning lane rather than trying to paper over a losing lane. That's kind of where I think Haru was caught on the wrong side of the map too much. I look at this game, and Gnar at minimum is going to be able to harass down Sion a bit. You don't necessarily have to play around that lane, but the mid lane is a previously double buff, still Nashor's Tooth Azir, looking for plays around mid, turning them into Drake with the pressure that we should see the early power spike Azir build take them is what I want to see from Haru.
Well, things going to slow down after the first 3 kills here in the game. Not a lot of gold separating the 2 squads. It's about 400 or 500 here at the moment. Ryze trying to take away that Rift Herald. And we will continue on our merry way, slow and steady, trying to win the race. This might have missed. If Haru had gone in for that, might have been able to take it away, but almost certainly would have died. Good restraint.
I see Haru return to the bot side, though. That's where most of their power lies. But they have more options. They're invading now.
Warp's coming through. Haru going to get locked up, goes in with the ultimatum, throws it down on top of Secret. Glacial Fissure comes in, but he still has the shield that he can pop. Haru is low, and he'll get taken down as Ryze claims the kill. Now KSV on full retreat. So full onslaught comes through, going to be shorted, but still gets a decent burst of damage in onto Ruler. They'll throw down the Chain of Corruption here onto Roach. He flashes away, gets locked in. He will die. They'll try to answer a little bit of damage, but they'll burn right through his passive very swiftly. So KSV, they lose Haru, but they still manage to stay ahead by 1 kill.
It hasn't been a buddy system. Haru's been alone as Crown going super aggressive.
Looking for it. They get the 1 auto attack there on the Secret, but nothing more than that. Didn't want to flash in underneath the tier 2 to try to get the kill.
No objectives taken here by KSV. Double control ward's going to delay the Drake take as well. Ruler will get the back after all. Already has the first item completion of the Rage Blade. It's not a big rush to go back and will actually stay in lane after everything's said and done.
He's got a nice lead building up here. 26 CS over top of Sol.
Trying to end the lane phase here is Ryze walking up with the Rift Herald. So has a couple of options, about 65% left before he has to force the channel out. Delaying the Drake, I think, is just fine. If you take the top side of the map, there's a nice little takeaway from Crown. But if you take the objective on the top side of the map and don't lose Drake and don't allow it to spawn, then it doesn't matter how much control KSV has around the bot side if they're not being able to trade up in terms of objectives. Keep the Cloud up till 30 minutes, clear it then, and then the Elder is also lower priority. It seems to be the way that KONGDOO Monster is approaching this.
So Voyage coming down, looking for Ruler. Does have the flash, will go ahead and pop that. Dodges out on the Tongue Lash, just gets hit with a flail. Realm Warp going to be completed, but no one is sticking around for the ride.
Everyone backs away. Flash is drawn out at a Ruler, so second time's the charm. They try to approach it again.
Yeah, they wanted to pull the trigger on it right then and there. If they had waited a little bit longer, might not have had the opportunity, but they almost certainly would have had the Sedge ult ready to go.
It's a great map movement. They're starting the Drake as Azir was having free time in the mid lane. So finally, first Drake of the game does go the way of KSV. Smart answer to a pretty big investment of resources to try to take down Ruler. So in exchange for Flash, they get most of the mid lane turret and also the Cloud Drake. So
Yeah,
trade up by KSV.
Further set that Azir ahead. He's already 2-0-1 and up almost 20 CS. Nashor's Tooth has been completed with the Merc Tread, so.
Those are the sort of moves KSV couldn't make against KT. They would give up an objective and get nothing. Give up an objective and get nothing. Good to see them getting something. Speaking of getting something, See a Rift Herald in the bot side. Turret's still not going to be exploded instantly, but with 4 members pushing.
It'll get knocked down quite a bit, if not taken. The minion wave, however, has been thinned out. Rift Herald going to be taking this up, however, as they try to get some shots in. Going to go low. Good block there from CoreJJ with the Unbreakable to deny that True Shot barrage, and the turret will remain standing for now. Everybody going their separate ways, and Varus can wave clear fast enough, so should be safe here for the moment as both teams try to race for that first brick. Ground pushing forward, going to have to cleanse. Pops that off. TP's coming through. Haru's going to go ahead and invest that ultimatum down in onto Edge, and he's got nowhere to go. Has the stopwatch, doesn't have the flash. One more hit will take him out as Haru finds his first kill of the game.
I believe Edge was spotted in all of that, and then it was easy for them to make a smart decision. Flash, ultimatum does the work. They get the kill. Should be the mid lane turret as well, as that's not how you jump over a wall, Haru.
Crown's like, here, I'll show you. I'll just go ahead and finish off the turret. First brick over to KSV. Now starting to stretch a very slight lead here. 18.5 minutes into the game, and Ruler's going to get some alone time with this turret here in bot. Abyssal Voyage, I guess, could be invested by Secret to get back there faster. They will just be holding on to it by the look of things.
Walk up.
Nope. CoreJJ getting the denial there, but the minions still getting thinned out. Glacial Fish are getting popped just to dissuade them from moving forward onto Haru, but with that Iceborne Gauntlet, they're going to be pulling the trigger on this one. And a Corruption locks up Secret, but it's not enough to keep Ruler alive.
Haru got too excited, took multiple turret shots and was out of the fight instantly. Meant that someone was going to be caught. Ruler had no flash. Baiting themselves into trying to kill a turret. Standing gold can be such a big bait. KONGDOO Monster swing it back their way. Not as clean as you'd need from KSV to fully answer some of their recent struggles. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. End result is
we're right where we started.
But still 2,000 gold lead or 1,700 gold lead to KSV after all things are said and done.
But it's fairly tight-knit here. As KONGDOO thankful for the overzealousness of KSV, because otherwise would probably just be falling very steadily behind.
In for potential lane gang, but just walking up to the top side. Sion usually just kind of has to grin and bear. He'll take any lane assignment, 1v2, 1v3. He'll try to wave clear and get through it.
He's at least the one with the turret in this rotation.
That's true.
So that helps him out quite a bit. Doesn't have to use the Unstoppable Onslaught to get back there to save it in time. Wave's already pushed up.
And for the Warmogs build, which seems to be the competitive way, every jungler who goes Cinderhulk and most top laners will go Warmogs, so there's multiple different people who can tank Baron, turn off it, and be involved, or given how, like, the fact that the fights aren't bloody at all, the fact that you can just step out, regen, and then stay on an objective is the big reason that Warmogs is so prioritized at the highest level. People just don't die, Achilles, we've come to learn.
They don't. That's why games go on forever and ever.
I feel like maybe the fact that you can build Cinderhulk into Warmogs and instantly get the full value out of the Warmogs healing because they decrease the cap for how much health you need to get the extra regen. Maybe that's one to look at. I'd like it to be another giant spell on top. That'd be fine. It's a bit too early for insane regen for me.
A slight bit of extra gold investment, yeah. Could agree with that. Seems like that would be agreeable for most people out there. A shot just to weaken CoreJJ a little bit.
So, we know that bot lane, Sion will keep the turret up for a while. That's just what Sion does. So top side, they're going to try and outnumber here at KSV. Invading with Haru, who's been a double-edged sword this game. Not being able to get deep vision as they would want. Walking around wherever Azir is, KONGDOO Monster prefers not to be. But we don't always see Haru and his Azir on the same page, and that means that we've seen Haru fall down a couple of times. Again, the pillar of strength to carry this game should be Crown. He's ahead in terms of items. Picked up the double kill very early.
There's 2 items already.
This needs to be the game where he really reminds us of his potential as a player. As if you look on the other side, a bit more of a team effort when it comes to who's picked up the benefit of the game. Awkwardly, Tahm Kench has 2 of the 3 kills.
That is true. Secret has been picking those up for himself. The tongue lashes is doing a bit more damage than he might have anticipated to get those killing blows. Seems like they'll be going back to base. Thought about going for the Abyssal Voyage up towards the top side of the map. But Crown currently sitting underneath the turret. Don't want to go diving the Azir. I'm sure these guys have seen that 2016 LCS clip of Phoenix. Or is it 2015? Maybe it was
2015.
It was 2015.
Was a great all-time moment for sure. Seeing if KSV can finally crash this top lane turret they've been working on for a little while. They've got offensive vision. They're rotating up with Haru clearing the Braum, so it should be the time. Standing gold starting to finally be whittled down. Ruler also at 2 items. So 2 items. Item-wise, when it comes to a 5v5, I'd give the heavy advantage to KSV. But actually wielding that power against the strong disengage that the Tahm Kench provides for his team.
Missile Voyage, looking for Crown now. He's going to go ahead and dash away. The fight comes through. They're looking for the ultimate, but it goes wide. Crown still, though, getting jumped on, getting locked down in prison. Does lock him in, does get the kill. CuVee now poking in from the side, trying to build up that Gnar bar. Big Glacial Fissure locking them in on top of the Chain of Corruption. They have the Sion up at the front line, but Roach is still barely tanking. Now they're looking for Ruler. Just got clipped by the Decimating Smash. He manages to stay alive and retreat back behind the Sanctity of that Unbreakable offered up by CoreJJ, but no kills to be answered for here for KSV.
So it's Warmark Swell's already so healthy on the side. They might just turn on to Baron here. They're just going to clear up the vision, like you're saying. Yep, it's going to be a Baron start.
Oh, dear.
Now, CuVee's Gnar bar is in a great spot, so this could be a big turnaround.
He's ready to build up. He's looking for the transformation, perhaps.
KONGDOO Monster want to turn on this. They don't want to rush it down.
This could be a disaster. Haru is here. He is healthy. He's got the smite ready to go. CoreJJ, no Glacial Fissure to open up with. They have to be relying on CuVee, who's got that transformation ready to go. It's going to happen now. He jumps in. Wallop, not going to connect. Flashes in. Stun into the wall. Finds Secret. He gets locked down up front. CuVee doesn't get focused on it. He's going to die. CoreJJ jumps to the side. Unbreakable in the heel. Helps keep him alive. The Baron will be stopped. But KSV cannot get any kills on top of it.
So 1 for 0 after everything is concerned. KSV knew that KONGDOO Monster didn't want to stick on the Baron. It was too suspicious. They would go for the actual finisher. They didn't have a finisher like the Cho'Gath or the Callista to guarantee the smite. So they only exit with a single extra death, which is fine from their perspective. But double Warmarks lets you know that this will be increasingly the norm. Start the Baron and look to peel. Unstoppable Onslaught, the Glacial Prison, the Realm Warp. They have so many abilities as a team to turn around Baron. And I think that's what KONGDOO Monster decide is their best way to win here. Because that's the sort of thing where you can expose one of Crown or Ruler, take them down, and then things get way better for KONGDOO Monster.
Turret nearly falling there in the top lane. Looks like maybe double-digit HP on that left. A couple minion hits. We'll go ahead and finish that off. So no extra standing gold being gained here for KSV, who still do have the lead by about 2,000. Despite giving up the majority of kills over to KONGDOO. Now looking for the dive here onto Ruler. Glacial Fissure comes down just a bit too early to get the pop-up. They're still going to be locked in underneath the turret from that Chain of Corruption. As Ruler fires away, ultimatum thrown down on top of Secret. Can't even pop the Great Health Shield. He will just die. Crown arriving from the side, but doesn't find an entrance in for the Emperor's Divide. But decent pick off here for KSV as they finally equalize that kill count.
Yeah, the last stun there just meant that the greedy hold on the Great Health was too much. Turret will go down. Consider that a lot of the damages right now
Maybe a blue buff as well.
from KONGDOO Monster are base damage. They don't have a lot of damage in their build. Very low damage build from the Ryze. Ezreal really doing heavy lifting in terms of damage. This is when KONGDOO Monster are strongest, when they don't have to necessarily have big damage from their carries.
Oh.
KSV have the carries, and they might turn on to Baron themselves.
Yeah, they can take this very quickly, but seems like they will be waiting. CuVee is down here soloing out the Cloud Drake. Doesn't have the TP. So don't want to start the Baron without him being readily available. We'll just play this out a bit patiently.
It's all about the pick and catch. It's all about the big ultimates from the Sion, the Ryze, and the Sejuani. Because front to back, they have a lot of tankiness. They do decent base damage. But as the game goes on, they will run out of damage, it feels like, against KSV's lineup. As we have more damage options, and with Ryze so slow on the damage, going for a very heavy tank build, Ezreal's not yet at the point where he can truly decide the game. So how do they avoid front to back? Realm Warp's a great way. The Unstoppable Onslaught, splitting up the numbers of KSV, another. But again, it feels like Crown has the answers. It feels like Crown can decide a game with a I was going to say weave as well, but of course with a Emperor's Divide, with a big reset of a team fight. He also has the damage behind him to decide a fight. So Can he do that? Can 2018 Crown do that?
Well, Haru's gonna die, and that might just be the Baron going over to KONGDOO Monster. Unstoppable Onslaught means that Roach is here. That's gonna be the Abyssal Voyage. Glacial Fissure timed out perfectly this time for CoreJJ to get the knockups, but they can't really answer much damage in. Knockray is down to about half HP, but he is still gonna be fine, and now no smite here. They try to go for the steal. It's gonna be on KSV yet again to try to dissuade KONGDOO Monster from peeling off.
KONGDOO have the double warm-ups. They can start this and turn at any moment. The Tony Realm Warp is available.
Ults are low. True Shot Barrage comes through. CoreJJ getting jumped up, and he is just going to go down as Soul finds the kill. But Crown is firing away, weakening them. Pushes the soldiers forward, and Soul has to jump away. And yet again, it'll trade one member of KSV for a halt on the Baron.
Again, not a bad trade. After Haru was dead, giving up another member is just fine if it's going to stop the Baron, which KONGDOO desperately needs. Closing this game without Baron will be so difficult against Varus and Azir, wave clear, and their low damage and poor siege. They have 3 melee champions, a Ryze and an Ezreal. So, continuing to play into the hand with these catches. Haru cannot be leading with his face when he's a carry. He's got Trinity Force and a Warrior enchant. He's not going to live for any amount of time. A stopwatch is not going to be enough to change anything. They need to be a bit smarter, but getting their waves in the right spot to actually decrease the chance of a gank brush just rinse and repeat, leading to another third Baron start for KONGDOO Monster.
Former Samsung getting baited in by the Samsung strat. Wait in the brush. Lose the jungler, but they at least lost the minimum there off the back of that. Not giving up the Baron is good news for KSV, but they can only do this so many times before KONGDOO will say, screw it, we're full committing.
So we'll see them largely playing topside. CuVee's playing for the laners. This is aggressive.
Yes, right in underneath the turret. They have Ryze here to help tank things up. And I think the focus is going to be just trying to eliminate the turret, but with the jump over the wall there from Haru, they will peel back. TP canceled by Roach. He does have the Unstoppable Onslaught. Could charge up the river, but won't be doing so. Now lockdown here onto Secret. I think he will be able to get the shield off this time, but still might fall as Ruler fires away, and the soldiers actually there from ground will be the ones to find the killing blow as he surges further forward here with this Azir.
What does this mean for KSV? Because they have incredible Baron damage themselves. Not that many people to tank it. Very low tankiness build from CuVee has gone into a BS sword as well. They're looking for the catch. They also are staying stationary. Where's the face check?
Oh, here we go. And Divide comes in, scoops up Roach. He gets put right into the middle, and he'll get popped instantly as Crown finds another one. The passive not going to be able to do a damn thing. They have so much damage, they burn straight through him, even with that health regen. And now KSV looking for a bait of their own. They go in over the wall looking for Soul. He jumps away, has to flash to help keep himself alive. Still holding onto the heal for now. KSV, they're in for the fight. CuVee goes forward, pushes back, Ryze. They take him down, and now they will look for the Baron.
Anything you can do, we can do better. They have more damage options, so when they control the pit, they're actually able. They have the health bars to turn, get a kill a third time. Looking for the completion here. What's Secret to do?
CoreJJ blocking out the True Shot Barrage, making sure that everybody stays healthy. They will go ahead and recall. They're empowered on that. They lose the mid tier 1 turret, but it was just a couple hits low, or hits away from that happening anyway, so they will happily make that exchange.
Game of Baron attempts, peels, and finally a take at 30 minutes for the side of KSV. KONGDOO Monster were doing the right thing. They knew the scene of the crime for them was around Baron. But this time, their own game plan was turned on its head. They didn't have to face check. That time, did KSV. KONGDOO Monster were the ones leading, and even Roach's super tank is taken out by Azir and 3-item Varus damage. Now against Baron buff, their wave clear is not fantastic. Roar of the Slayer is actually deceptively good against Baron buff because you can just roar minions away, which gives more time. Creates a bit of pandemonium when it comes to actually being able to clear minions. But otherwise, Ryze and Ezreal, not really what you're looking for when it comes to wave clear.
Say Roach canceling the TP. Give that much faster of a reaction there for KSV.
It was an invitation. He could have just completed the teleport. It was very strange that he didn't. And then smart from Haru just ultimated the first target, the Tahm Kench perfect as a person to focus on. And it all came from that one pass, one single decision, a cancelled teleport. So it really cost them. One might actually be the thing that changed the game. We had a pretty even gold game. Out of nowhere, it's 6,000, and in 3 lanes, KSV able to push up.
You saw the chart at the beginning of the game, beginning of the series, and decided that this was the best way to pour one out for ADD. Not going to find the connection there. Sejuani misses, but Chain of Corruption does come down, forces out the Devour. Secret just keeping SSol alive. Haru bringing up the wave in the bottom lane, and no one's really paying attention to this Camille right now, so he could go ahead and work his way right through that inner turret in the bot side.
It's a bit of a KSV special. Haru on Jax, and now on the Camille, on these Trinity Force champions, they will have their jungler in a side lane, more than you would expect from most teams.
Yeah.
Good lane assignment, and he can, of course, come through what is an unwarded area and threaten the ultimatum. So walking aggressively or assertively through your own red side jungle, you might just get collapsed on and killed, thanks to the Hextech ultimatum guaranteeing positioning. So good use of their resources there.
One more turret to go. Wave's already pushed up. CuVee, the Guardian Angel, fearlessly can go ahead and push underneath of this. SSol takes a bit of damage as they try to clear out the wards on the side. Unstoppable Onslaught will be there. It's going to find CoreJJ at the start. Shield comes through. He tries to jump to the side, but likely will still go down. One more hit there from the Ryze will finish him off. Now CuVee getting ready for the transformation. SSol's on the side, firing away, and Haru, he's taken out the in-him. Missile Voyage into the background. Nowhere to go. No mana to speak of, actually. Seems like he is going to be dead here. But Ruler and CuVee are trying to turn things around. They get the lockdown in onto Edge. They finish him off, and Crown is still alive. Ruler destroying the members. Could it be a pentakill? No, he will die as Crown gets the final, but a quadra going to him, and maybe just the end of the game right here.
They had no good decisions, but there's already the premature
Show me the
high
base.
fives. The presence of mind onto the Azir meant that even though he was low mana, that's why they thought they could go for the 5v4. He had unlimited mana the entire time due to all the kills rolling in. No threat onto Ruler. Game is over. And KSV, it wasn't pretty, but they take down KONGDOO Monster.
It wasn't. It was one of the bloodiest games we've had in a while. 23 kills in 30-something odd minutes there.
We haven't seen
gameplay.
We haven't seen the self-fanning from Ruler in a while. That's usually the sign that things have gone better than expected, even though
that's his pop-off.
Yeah, he knows he's heating up. He's heating up, he's heating up. Could have been a pentakill in a different game. Not going to be wide smiles from KSV. They know there's still a job to be done, but it was actually a 5-game losing streak from KSV, finally ending in this game. KONGDOO Monster with some smart decisions in the early game. The one cancel teleport, that passage of play ended the game.
What a strange way for everything to come crashing down here for KONGDOO Monster. Thought they had the fight, but Ruler
has no mana. Why? Of course, this must be the time, right? But
Ruler
turns
still
around.
a monster. Great ultimate there by CuVee as well.
And the moment that Azir gets any kill involvement, he is free cost spells. Watch, his Crown is walking around with no mana. There's nothing he can do. Gets an auto in, and that light blue lets you know presence of mind. Suddenly he's involved. Ruler the whole time is pushing out damage. They don't have damage on the side of KONGDOO Monster. What did we say? They're great at taking Baron and peeling off Baron, but in a team fight, this was likely to be the reality. Might have been the deaths on the carriers. It didn't matter. KSV finally win a game.
Yeah, Crown's still going down at the end. The lack of mana does cost him there with the passive. Finishes him off, but absolutely crazy. Nearly a third pentakill of the season there for Ruler. We'll see if he can pull a con and bring one back here in game number 2. But KSV, rocky for sure. KONGDOO Monster were able to capitalize on their mistakes, on their over-aggression, but could not close it out. In the end, it was their mistake that proved too much to recover from.
Let's wait and see if Ambition will be subbed in game 2. Haru was up and down, but they did pick up the match win. How do they make sense of all of this? Will we see the man at the front of the OGN intro in game 2?
We will find out momentarily as we get ready to go into the break. Great showing there from Crown, looking like he's getting himself back into form. This is the Crown that KSV needs. The reliable one, the one that can carry. Let's see if we get more of that in game number 2, if KONGDOO Monster will extend to game 3.